Before we go directly to our small groups, we wanted to open up with some testimonies to give you an idea of what it means to open up, to be honest and open. So I would like to invite Officer Anthony Kilmer and Pastor Sean Gardier to come to the stage. Can we welcome them with some applause, please? Now, I get to be kind of a television host today, so I'm going to do my best Oprah impression. That was supposed to get a laugh. It didn't work. Okay, it's good. I can try again. It's all right. So first, I want to open up with Officer Kilmer. I want you to be able to kind of open up with your experience. We know that you've sat on the pilot, so you've experienced the body-worn camera. So tell us your experience, something that you've had, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you. My name is Anthony Kilmer. I've been a police officer for approximately 15 years with San Jose PD. I was one of the volunteers. I put my hand up and said I wanted to wear a camera. And the reason being, and I shared this with the PACT committee members, is I've been involved in several incidents, several critical incidents, and on one of the incidents, a community member had some concerns and felt that what we did was improper, unlawful, and unethical. And even though I know we did everything properly and it was by the law, ethically, and it was on the up and up, but I was questioned, and that hurt, that concerned me. Name was dragged through the mud a little bit, and it was concerning. I think a body-worn camera, if it was applied at that time, would have negated all of that. I wouldn't have gone through that.
So let me ask, if you have one of your greatest concerns about the body-worn camera, what would you say that would be?
The greatest concern was just the fear of the unknown. When I first had it, it was scary. It's a new policy. It's a lot of changes, a lot to remember, when to turn it off, when to turn it on. I want to assure you that went away within the first hour. After I got through the first call, I realized, okay, this is not that bad. I'll get through this, and it became just another tool. I realized over time, after a couple of days, it was just, I didn't realize it was there.
And so then, kind of in the same note then, what is your greatest hope for the body-worn cameras and what they can provide for you and the community?
Personally speaking, it provides my perspective, my experience. A lot of times that gets lost. I have something to support me to show that what I did was proper, ethical, legal, and by the duty manual sections. And now I have another layer of protection for me, as well as another layer of transparency for the community to show that, hey, what I did was right.
All right, and I'll open up. Anything else that you want to offer about the BWC?
Again, I would emphasize, initially I was a little apprehensive. I was scared. It was concerning because, again, it's a new policy. It's scary. Cops were not used to change. We don't take change well, but I got over it real quick. And again, I believe it's going to be a great asset. It's going to protect me. It's going to protect other officers and show that what we're doing it right. There's always room for improvement, but the camera might identify some of those situations where we can improve. But my feeling, personally speaking, most of the time we are doing it right. And it just will show the community that we are.
Thank you so much. Can we celebrate Officer Kilmer? Well, now we're going to shift, and we're going to have Pastor Sean. I know that there's an experience that you had, and what you can just communicate your experience.
Yes. And to preface this experience was before I was the youth pastor at Bible Way Christian Center. In 2008, I was downtown San Jose with family and friends. I received a phone call that my younger brother was about to get jumped, that he was surrounded by a bunch of guys and he was going to get jumped. So I ran down to try to rescue my brother. One of the guys was very irate, very aggressive. I hit him and we began to fight on the ground. At that moment, I began to feel hits on my back. Now, I figured it was his friends because he was down there with 5 or 6 other guys as well. And I continued to feel these hits on my back, and they were very powerful, and none of my friends seemed to be coming to my rescue, so I decided to look up and see what was going on. At that moment, I saw 4 or 5 police officers hitting me with their batons. I was afraid. I rolled over, surrendered myself. They picked me up off the ground, took me to the car. I actually had a pretty good conversation with the cop in the car, and so I asked him, why'd you guys hit me so many times, or why were the batons necessary? His reply was, you're a pretty big guy. We didn't want to take any chances. So that was that situation. When I went to court, my public defender asked me to read over the police report. So I read half of it, and basically the police officer was very accurate in what transpired. And so I agree with it. I told my public defender that, yes, I agree with what the police officer is saying. At that moment, he said, "Are you sure? Did you read it all?" I said, "No, I didn't. I only read half of it. Let me finish reading." The end of it painted a very different picture of what happened. The officer said that I stood up, broad-shouldered, and basically painted a very demonstrative picture of me, and said I attacked the police officers. And so at that point, I was facing assault on a police officer. And so I told my public defender, I said, "That's not what happened." I told him I was scared. I would never attack a group of police officers by myself. And so they tried to communicate that to the district attorney. Fortunately, the district attorney believed what I was saying, and he allowed me to plead out into public disturbance or disturbing the peace. And so that's what I live with now versus the felony charge of assault on a police officer.
So for you, with that experience, what do you think might have been different if there was a body-worn camera?
If there was a body-worn camera, I believe that, one, I'm not sure if I would have still been beat up the way I was beat up. I don't know if the approach would have been different had the police officers known that they were being videotaped. And also, I would have felt stronger in court knowing that I did not attack them, and that was false. And so I would have felt stronger in court to defend myself against the allegations that I was facing.
So now, body-worn cameras for you, you think that the experience might have been different. What are any last words that you might want to say about the body-worn cameras?
In particular for this instance, I think they're imperative because had I been charged with the felony assault on a police officer, my whole life would have been changed. My ability to provide for my family would have drastically been hindered. I'm a high school teacher, and with a felony, I would not be able to teach. It's what I love to do. It's what I'm good at. And with body-worn cameras, situations like that may have happened or may happen to other people who cannot defend themselves, and their lives are altered based on falsified documents.
Thank you. Can we celebrate Pastor Sean?